Life was so bad. With the street life, we do everything to survive. I graduated from the streets from Where to Ho. That's the capital town of Volta region. And meaning that I was
You're
upgraded,
upgraded.
yes, to the tertiary level of the footballer life. The team were rejected. We don't fail. When you are getting close to people, people don't accept you. The abusing was so high, rejection and everything. So all that we hear, this they are footballers, this kind of thing. So the gap was so wide that we cannot get closer to people. So the only way is that okay, if that's the case, we will show you to know that we also belongs to a particular world.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you, Costaris Ghana Limited, for making this program possible. And Costaris is the distributors of Super Blast Mosquito Spray, the major sponsor for the release show. Mr. Richard, thank you for being on the show. Thank you so much. Tell me, who is Mr. Richard? Give me a little background about you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Richard Mensah, a child of Village of Hope. About me, it's got a chapter where one day I realized that I found a heaven at Village of Hope. The beginning of my life started this way. When I was growing up in a community where I was staying with some people like a house help, just assisting them on a daily basis. And the treatment was so bad and the abuse was so severe to the point that if I talk about abusing, they were using me for all kinds of work. But there was no treatment like giving you meal, a balanced diet on 3 times a day. I can just be given some small food once a day, but they use me for all kinds of work. So I got a point I need to be helping people in the community to survive, carrying loads like kayayo and other things. Wearing just one shirt for many weeks as I can. Bathing was not part of the business regularly.
Like, seriously?
So it got a time and I need to form my own, people to live with. So I joined these people, boys and girls also who is in the community surviving. So we form our own association and start our Kubolo life. That was some parts of Volta region, some village. And life was so bad. I graduated from that village and I end up in, where on the street again. That's where we started the serious life, the street life.
How old were you when?
Those ages, I can boldly say around 11 and 12. 11 and 12. And even as I'm speaking, this time I've never been to any formal, I've not been to school before. There's nothing like, I don't even know. They have a name that they used to call me. And it was just a Kubolog name. I was not even having an official name apart from the name Mensah that indicates that I'm third born of my siblings, a male, the third born. I was just having that name. So I graduated from the streets from Where to Ho. That's the capital town of Volta region. And meaning that I was upgraded, yes, to the tertiary level of the footballer life. And one day, there was a group of people who came, So that was the day when Village of Hope came in to interview us with my siblings. That was the day I was given official name, Richard. Okay. That was the name I was given, the name Richard.
Initially on the street, you were called Kobolo.
I was called Congo Spanner.
Congo Spanner.
Yes.
What a name, Congo Spanner.
If you touch me, I'll lose you.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that was the name, the nickname I was having.
Were you that tough?
Not tough, but even though I was in the Kubolo, I was somebody that used to be very strict and, very responsible. So all the team, the groups that we used to form, I happened to be their leader and making sure that things are done as it's supposed to be. I don't compromise with anything. Okay. Even though we can do everything to survive, I make sure that if, we go out to do all that we can to get some meals to survive, we make sure that everybody gets a portion that you get. And some people will try that want to get a bigger portion. I was not that type. I make sure that everybody get a portion of that. The only vision I have is, okay, where I belong to, I need to pay the society back in the, in the hard way.
The way you were melted,
yes,
you felt life melted on you.
Yes, that's how it was. So we were really trying to plan how we can attack people, because the team, we were rejected. We don't feel. When you are getting close to people, people don't accept you. Yeah. The abusing was so high, rejection and everything. So all that we hear, the akubolo, this kind of thing. So the gap was so, wide that we cannot get closer to people. So the only way is that, okay, if that's the case, we will show you to know that we also belongs to a particular world.
Rich, can I ask you a question?
You can.
Before your street life narration or inception, do you have any background about your family? Do you have any family?
Yeah, I may say yes, because I was born through, parents, and was given to these people as house help. But the one thing I know is that I've never seen my biological parents, because I was told that my dad passed on at the earlier stage.
Who told you?
Yes, I was told, because I've never seen.
Who told you?
The people that I was staying with when I was growing in the community, people said, okay, these people are not your biological parent, that's why they are treating you like that. So that informed the decision that if that's me the case, that's why they were treating me. Because their children were going to school, but I was not taken to any school. So then I need to find a way to live. So in the night, I'll help all these women to do all the house chores, but when it's late, when they are sleeping, they don't take me to their room. And I have to leave. I sleep outside. And you'll be roaming in the town. And when you are feeling sleeping, any kitchen, anybody's kitchen, in the village, those places, it's open kitchen. They don't fence. There is not a block built kind. So anywhere you find, you can just lay your head. The next day, you get up and.
So this first home you know as a family actually introduced you to street life.
Yes.
Kind of. Let's go on commercial break. When we'll come back, we will continue with Mr. Richard.
It's fast. It's deadly insect. It makes the whole family unrest, especially at night. But worry no more, cause the revolutionary Abro Super Blast Mosquito Spray. It travels fast, works fast, and with a very good fragrance, accommodating mild and tender smell. That's Abro Super Blast Insecticide Spray. Distributed by Coast Ghana Limited, Spintex Road, Motorway, Accra, Ghana. Abro, trusted name worldwide.
Welcome back on the show. We still have Mr. Richard here with us. Mr. Richard.
Madam.
I don't know how I'm going to start this, but it's quite funny, though. But I'm going to be specific on something. Your foster home. At what age?
You see, all these things happened to the point that at the tender age, I was carrying loose things that I cannot even carry. So
things like what?
They will send you to farm, you carry a big pan with yam,
at
firewood.
Age 10, 11?
Yes. So it was very hard to be living in that community.
I guess we were like this then.
Yeah, very short.
Very small.
Very small.
And you can carry how many?
It's heavy. That sometimes when you are carrying it, coming home, you can get tired and you fall. You can just fall and,
And they don't even feed you well as well.
They will not feed, no. And they will beat you as well. And when you come home, you go for miles to go and fetch water.
Why would they beat you?
I cannot really, they will not even give you any better reason why they are beating you. Because the point is that you are carrying a load, let me say the yam, when it fails, some will, it's got broken and other things.
This is more torture.
So you spoil something and they need to punish you for that. So there was a whole lot of struggles, and every day it's continuous pain. That's how it was like. So I have no option than to find my own world to live in. So I need to join other people who also are kubolos, and they are, I saw that they have their joy, they are moving on and other things. So
how are you surviving on the streets then?
Okay, with the street life, we do everything to survive. In the evening, people can leave their, things outside, let me say, cassava, yams, in the roadside, in the village, people pack it for the next day for cars to come and pack to market. We need to go and excuse some, steal some and put it somewhere to be managing gradually. That's how it was like, so that we can survive on that. And other people also will go in, they will bring it, because that place, we are about the only people who can show ourselves love. So if you go and you get some money, something, you bring it together, we put it together.
When you mean if you go, you bring in some money, is it stealing money or maybe
basically there was no
picking
option.
Pockets?
People, there were some, people used to pick pocket. On the street life,
anything happened.
You see, we have no option than to struggle to get what you can survive on. So if you talk about, stealing, smoking, doing all kinds of things that you can, mention.
Were you smoking?
Yeah, I smoked before.
At what age was that?
But I can't remember. One day, I just remember that the senior ones among us, they were in the bush. And when I remember, I saw that they were smoking, those kind of things, so that they will be high. And you need to take in things that will help you to be able to, go the hard way, to struggle. Because if you live normal thing, they cannot be hard.
So you think that smoking was making you hard?
It will make you tough.
Okay.
Yes. And some people too, it will lead you to, when you smoke or take other drugs, you become so weak, you cannot behave, you behave abnormal. Okay. And some people too. But I was not good in smoking, so I couldn't continue much. Because of those smoking, taking other alcohols, when I got to Village of Hope, there was a lot of medical implications. So the depression because of abuse, etc. So I need to be taken through a lot of medical checkup regularly. And I was taken to the Pantine Hospital. I was put on drugs, mental. I was having a lot of issues, medical issues.
Mental health.
Yes. I got a point, you find it difficult to trust people around you, because you think different. You think differently, and you see human beings differently. And if the people you are living with are not showing the true love, you find it difficult to get closer to them. That was my situation.
Wow.
So I was taken to Pantine, was put on medications for some years. Oh. And because I was not having a balanced diet, I developed a lot of medical problems. So
like what and what?
I was taking, they said I had a problem with my stomach. And at a point in 2009, it appeared on my left side. Wow. So I was taken through a lot of medical surgery that I was put on medication, which was expensive, but Village of Hope pay all those bills. And
I'm not cutting you short, Rich. When you are on the streets, do you have any hope? Do you feel like one day I'm going to be rich, one day I'm going to be the president of the country, one day I'm going to be the most popular people or most popular person in Africa?
At that point, to be honest with you, the best option, or the only option you have, is that you need to survive for a moment.
It's all about
surviving. And I was the kind of person thinking that where I was at that particular moment, I need to bring people together, my other peers, the Kubolos, to do everything possible to show the society, the people that have given us that tough time, that we have been rejected. So my ambition is to be a leader, whatever the pain. So wherever I find myself in, is to organize people, to let them know that, hey, what we find ourselves in, yes, still we can do something about it. That one was negative.
It was a negative.
Negative one until I got to Village of Hope. I found my heaven in Village of Hope.
Wow.
And the feelings was changing.
Oh.
The first time I got to Village of Hope and I was given a bed, a full mattress, 1.5 mattress, lay with nice bedsheet. I was given a clothing that day. The whole night, honestly, I couldn't sleep.
Why?
Because when I lie on the bed, I was like, oh, what is happening? And I'll get up again and look at the bed because where I was first, I used to sleep on somebody's veranda, somebody's chair on the front of the kiosk. They can come and beat you. When it's raining, you will just be standing like that. You don't have any hope. And nobody will invite you even to their home. So when I was brought to Village of Hope and I saw all those things in the night, for the first and the second, the first week, and the next day, they gave us a meal in the breakfast, 7:30 a.m. we ate. In the noon, lunch is there. In the evening, there was a meal. I was like, wow. So
you thought you were in heaven.
Yes, that's why I always say. The first time I heard that a word, I love you, and a day will break somebody, a parent will ask you, how are you doing? It was the first time. To get up and knock on a door that you are going to speak to your parent, and the person will listen to you and they give you.
The first time you did it, how do you feel?
It's like you feel some kind of warm, your heart, some joy. When you are going, you feel very light. It's very joyful, fulfilling, you know. It gives very nice feeling. That's what it was like.
Wait,
Madam.
have you at any point during all this your street struggle want to end your life?
Yes. It's got a point because nobody is accepting you.
Yeah.
It's all pain. It's all struggling. And you got to a level where you feel like it will be good that you are no more. So, yes, I felt it countable times, and it was very, very, very tough for me at that particular time. So there was this guy who I used to talk with, and I felt like, no, every day, what I hear within me, it's pain. You are good for nothing. You are good for nothing. Nobody will use for it. So those are the things you'll be hearing because when, let me say, you got a place and you take some alcohol, the hard alcohol that they call locally apeteshi, and you think that if you do that, you'll be joyful. The next morning, when you are boozed, and this thing is the alcohol is taken out from the system, the sorrow, the struggles continue. It increases the more. So you say, okay, then let me do a different thing also to say. Maybe you will go and smoke some cigarettes or other drugs, weed and other things. At a particular moment, maybe for the first 1 hour, you feel like, yes, you are joyful. But immediately the power is getting out, the sorrow continues. So in 2005 was the point where I feel like, okay, it's enough. I can,
you can't take
end my life. So it was very tough. I don't know how God works. The next year, that was the time I was brought to Village of Hope. Early 2006, and things began to change. My issues were very complicated, that at a point, I need to be, given a whole clinical psychologist to work on me, to even to restructure the whole thinking system and to go through some kind of psychosocial therapy and self-image, therapies with a whole, clinical psychologist, which they were paying for all those things just to help me to become a human being in the society. And, as at this point, in that time, even 2017, and I need to be under a regular supervision of Mom Araba. And when she closed in the evening, everybody leave the office. She have to stay with me, have a conversation, talking with me about 2 hours before she closed and go home. And yes, it was a point I feel like, I need to end my life because I've not been accepted in the society. The rejection, the abusing was so high.
Do you think the government failed you? as a child?
Government. I don't know where the government was.
You don't know who the government were?
Yes, and who they are, because we were living in that situation for a very long time. There was no single day. People were driving their big cars, they send their children to the schools, and the same people, when they park their cars, when we are getting closer to them, they look at you, with some kind of eyes. So you know basically that these people, they are not welcoming you. So the influence, what the decision you can take is that, okay, as long as your children they have dressed neatly, they are in the big posh car, and you are sending them to school, we also were planning that we will find a way to show you and everyone who rejected us that we also belongs to our community and a society. So we were in a group, we were planning how we can become experts if it comes to armed robbery. Any child you see on the street, if you underestimate them, that they don't know they are left from their right, you are deceiving yourself, because we are very talented, smart. We can read meaning into everything that you are doing. Everything. So a street child will not trust just anybody. They will first make sure that they see you in their heart before they can trust you. Upon all these struggles, to the point where I was telling you, I've never experienced anything like spelling my name, to write my name, maybe Richard Mensah.
How old were you then?
16.
16 years.
Yes.
You started learning ABC?
Yes, 16 years. And the first time I was able to read ABCD from A to Z, I was like, no, I was just jubilating with them. And, they asked
see
me
how happy I am hearing you saying that.
So when they asked me, how are you doing, Richard? And I was able to respond, I'm doing fine. And gradually.
But you can speak English then?
How can you speak? Even if you cannot read ABCD, how can you speak in English then? So I went through that system, learning how to read and write. To the glory of God, this opportunity that Village of Hope has given to me with the love and the hope and the joy that was...
You see the smile.
Yes, to this point, I'm beginning to,
You're beginning to feel
yes.
This is what I wanted to be.
Yes, so that point where I was basically at the point of, 2017 direct, under the supervision of Mom Araba. So when they say that, Richard, you become a big minister of God in the future.
We'll be having our second guest to join us on the set.
It's fast, it's deadly insect. It makes the whole family unrest, especially at night. But worry no more, cause the revolutionary Abro Super Blast Mosquito Spray. It travels fast, works fast, and with a very good fragrance, accommodating mild and tender smell. That's Abro Super Blast Insecticide Spray. Distributed by Coast Ghana Limited, Spintex Road, Motorway, Accra, Ghana. Abro, trusted name worldwide.
Thank you, Coast Ghana Limited, for being part of this program. They are the distributors of Super Blast. Sorry, I missed that line. And we have our second guest on the set by name, Araba Ahmad.
Thanks for having me, Lily. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you should be. We have our gentleman over here who have shared so much for us regarding his life. And I want to say a very big thank you to Village of Hope. You guys did a tremendous work. Tell me, life on the street, how is it like?
In Ghana, especially in Accra, the statistics say that we have about 90,000 of such people, right under our noses. You see people sitting at bus stops and they look like they have nothing doing. And usually our first instinct is that this person is going to do something bad. Our first instinct is never, oh, look at this poor child. Why is this child living this way? And when they come to us, you realize that they've been through a lot emotionally and physically. And so it takes a lot of time before you can reach them and even convince them that they can do more with their lives than where they are at now. And for those reasons also, we've grown over the years to accept that you can't win with everyone. They are exposed to a lot of vices very early. And you need to know how to survive on your own, okay, through any means possible. And then also, you have felt rejected, sometimes even by your own family. And so it's just coping mechanisms that they end up using and put themselves in a mindset of, I'm alone, I need to survive. Okay, so when people like that come, there's a lot of anger. You want to speak kindly to the person like you speak with any normal person. And they're already looking at you with mistrust. So you think you are giving off your best, but they don't value it. So you don't expect a quick result. And that is something that's not just, those who work with children like that, but people in general. But sometimes you realize that people have met someone on the street. They immediately reach out, oh, come and let me take you to school. They help the person go to school, and the person leaves school, drops out, and they can't understand why this beautiful opportunity is in front of you, but you're throwing it away. Yeah. But it's a complicated situation, and you have to...
like they feel you're trying to bottle them in, kind of. So, and this is not what they are used to. They're used to that freedom.
Exactly. We have to have clinical psychologists who have the skill that it takes to reach deeper into their minds and into their hearts. So if you are a child living on the streets and you happen to see this or somebody tells you about this, and what it means is that not everyone in your life is there to harm you. So even though we know that you've been through a lot and it's hard to trust people, know that not everyone is out to hurt you in spite of what you've been through. For those of us who are lucky enough not to have been through things like this, you have to think about the future of your own self, your own family, of the country, and support organizations that are reaching out to these young people, because still they are the future of the country. So we hope that you will join us to continue supporting the children in our care.
So I'm still going to give my advice to everyone. We are all the government. We are all the government. Everyone, wherever you are, if you are listening to this, play your own part. Just a little kindness can make a difference in everyone's life, or can make a difference in that person's life. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Yeah? Rich, that's for you.
Wow.
This is also coming from Coach. We have come to the end of today's show. I hope you've learned one or two things from Richard's story. Every one of us are government. It could be you tomorrow, it could be her, it could be us. So let's join hands to make our streets free of street children. Follow us on all our social media platforms at The Lily Show. See you same time next week.